You can dedicate the majority of your time to your startup that's been endorsed. But you could also do a bunch of other small things on the side. And that's given me so much freedom this year.
So, Abhi, it'd be great if you could talk through your experience on the UK startup visa.
So I was looking for jobs back in September 2019. And I was here as an international student. And somebody suggested that, I went down the entrepreneurial route. And one of the links up there was a startup visa, which I found quite fascinating. And that's where I first came across it.
You have a really interesting sort of business idea and business model. Would you be able to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So the premise is based around like Airbnb and the whole system of, an online marketplace. And I've tried to replicate that in the healthcare space. And the way we do that is we have a list of hospitals that you can, look at and see the prices for different procedures, and then make a booking through our website. And we focus on IVF, which is in vitro fertilization, which is a form of reproductive medicine to help couples conceive artificially. And you basically come onto the website, search for an IVF procedure in a clinic that we've partnered with. That at the moment they're in India, but we'd like to have clinics across the world. And the price point starts from around 2.5 grand per IVF cycle, compared to around $15,000 to $20,000 per cycle in the US for the very same. So massive cost savings, time savings, with no compromise in safety or quality.
In terms of the UK, that's on the US side, and on the UK side, is the market the same?
It's slightly different, but there is a market for it. So the way IVF works in the UK is that you get the NHS can fund up to 3 cycles, I think, and it depends on where you live. So they have a postcode lottery. And a lot of factors are taken into consideration, like your personal background, whether you've had, past relationships, kids from past relationships, and then whether you smoke and drink and all those external factors. And then depending on whether you get lucky in the lottery or not, the NHS will fund up to 3 cycles. If you fail to conceive after those 3 cycles, you have to pay out of pocket. And if you don't get lucky in that lottery, you have to pay out of pocket again. So a lot of people from the UK travel to countries like Denmark and Ukraine or Turkey and Greece to get IVF done. So there is a market here.
Great. So big demand, and you're leveraging, among other things, that differential. Yeah. And I'm right in saying your family's in the medical space as well, right?
Yeah, my parents are both doctors. Yeah, my mom's a pediatrician, and my dad works in overseas treatment. So.
Would you be able to talk a bit about the sort of software development side of things?
I did the web design myself because I have some experience in building websites, but it's simple, like using no-code website builders like Wix. It could be done manually, and Y Combinator have this saying which goes, do things that don't scale. So do things manually until the point that you physically can't. I was hoping to have maybe 2 to 3 customers that I could dedicate my life to just taking care of them from end to end. So having this whole automated system didn't appeal to me right off the bat. That is something I'd probably start looking at doing once we had sufficient traction and I could invest that money into software development. But just to begin with, I think the website lists clinics. They can book a call with me, and I can do everything for them manually. And I think that's quite personable as well. So I think that's what I'll stick with, at least for the first few days. Yeah.
Did you have any tips for anyone who's applying for the startup visa?
Yeah, just take the leap. That was the biggest thing that worried me. I was super scared about starting a company for the first time, especially right out of university with no actual work experience. Just take the leap. That's what I'd say. You can dedicate the majority of your time to your startup that's been endorsed. But you could also do a bunch of other small things on the side. And that's given me so much freedom this year. I was able to dive into healthcare, telemedicine, social networks, medical devices, and work with people all around the world whenever I wanted. So I think, it gives you so much freedom that you don't even think about. And if you have the right systems in place to keep you going, then yeah, definitely do this.
Would you be able to talk about the sort of your inspiration, the sort of books that you read, as a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, sure. So, I was inspired by the whole Airbnb story and how, a team of designers came together. I'm a designer as well. So that was one I could really associate with. And watched a bunch of interviews by them, and they were really helped out by the Y Combinator accelerator based in Silicon Valley. So in terms of resources, their startup school and their YouTube channel was super helpful. And in terms of the books I read that actually motivated me when I didn't know what I was doing were things like 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which is another good one, and The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, which explains how things take time to gain traction